Family, fellow students, and teachers in court recounting the moment a Saskatoon teen was set on fire. The Saskatchewan Health Authority taking over running a Regina long-term care home. And U of S Ag students hit the highway to Saskatoon towards TeleMiracle.
Live from our studios in Regina, this is CTV News.
Good evening. For the first time tonight, we're hearing new details in an arson attack case at a Saskatoon school. Family, friends, classmates, teachers, and the victim herself all submitted their victim impact statements detailing the horrifying moment of the attack and the victim's road to recovery. CTV's Laura Woodward has the details.
Well, it was an emotional day in court as students, teachers, and family members described the moment a teen girl was set on fire and the trauma that followed the horrifying incident. On September 5th, 2024, a 14-year-old girl doused her classmate in gasoline and set her on fire. She's pleaded guilty to attempted murder. During the sentencing hearing, court heard she poured gasoline from a metal water bottle over the victim's head. One teacher said she initially thought it was water before flames engulfed the hallway. The teen was airlifted to a burn unit in Edmonton. At one point, 80% of her body was covered in bandages. Her parents told court they're still haunted by her screams during painful dressing changes. According to agreed facts, the offender and victim started out as friends, but the accused became obsessed, texting the victim from multiple phone numbers and social media accounts and taking pictures without her consent. Investigators later found videos of arson on the offender's phone. The victim's parents reported concerns to police and were told a school safety plan would be implemented. The victim's mother said, "We hoped the accused would be supervised and that she'd be harmless because we did everything we thought we could to keep our daughter safe. The brutal attack changed our lives forever." The final impact statement was from the victim, read aloud by her mother, saying, quote, "I'm alive, I'm left-handed now." The teen continues to require surgeries and procedures, including rebuilding her ear and working to regain dexterity in her right hand. Laura Woodward, CTV News, Saskatoon.
There are more than 350 fire departments in Saskatchewan, many of them volunteer-led. This week, members of the Tugaske Fire Department were notified of a blaze in a place they never thought possible, their own fire hall. Mick Favel has the details on what happens now.
The Tugaske Volunteer Fire Department is in recovery mode after a blaze completely destroyed their shop with their vehicles and equipment inside.
Walls were crackling, smoke was coming out the roof.
Daniel Wilson is the community's fire chief and was quickly on the scene when the call came in, but by then it was already too late.
And I was 3 minutes before our second member responded and another 3 before the next one, and by that point entry wasn't an option, so we just got to watch all our stuff burn.
It's a devastating blow for the fire department and its members, who have spent years building up their unit to the point where they were able to suit up 15 firefighters and a quick response vehicle able to hold 1,000 gallons of water.
And then we also lost the smaller truck as our fast response unit, which was also loaded up with a bunch of gear and had a fire skid in the back, and that was our main firefighting unit. I mean, because it was quick, we were quick to get there with it, and that was the heart and soul of this fire department.
Despite the loss, the firefighters are still available for emergency response, thanks to the same department that put out the fire from the next town over. The Eyebrow Fire Department has lent 2 emergency vehicles to Tugaske while the department picks up the pieces.
The investigators are out. We haven't heard anything back. Everything's just going to be in the hands of insurance at this point, and that's never a quick process. So hopefully we can get answers soon. Whether it matters what caused it or not, it's just we got a lot of work ahead of us. So
Wilson says the fire department has received continuous support over the years, and there are plans to return back to capacity as soon as possible. Mick Favel, CTV News, Tugaske.
Volunteer firefighters in Willowbunch were kept busy Monday night responding to a hay bale fire at an area feedlot. The fire broke out just before 11 o'clock Monday, with firefighters arriving to find around 25 bales ablaze. The flaming bales were beside a stack of around 5,000 more, but the fire was contained over the course of the night by crews from Willowbunch and Bengoff with extra help from feedlot employees. Since the years of the COVID-19 pandemic, arson has become a major issue for Regina fire officials and police. As CTV's Jacob Carr reports, stats show arson cases went up for a 5th straight year in 2025.
Arson continues to plague the city as the number of cases that the Regina Police Service is seeing continues to rise year after year. After a slight dip from 174 cases in 2016 to 124 in 2017, arsons have been on the incline, peaking last year at 598.
Arson is one of those things that sort of happens where there really aren't any avenues for us to investigate. In many instances, there often aren't any witnesses, there often isn't any video.
Despite the alarming rise in arson in Regina, city officials are choosing to focus on the positive trends in the crime statistics from 2025. Crimes like robberies, motor vehicle thefts, and break-and-enters decreased from 2024 to 25, which Regina Mayor Chad Baczynski says is an encouraging sign.
I think with anything, it's always being cautiously optimistic, but it's a positive trend to see a number of areas go down. There are some areas that haven't, and so those are obviously some focus areas, but overall, I think we are doing a lot of the right things.
The 598 arson incidents in 2025 were more than double the 10-year average of 238. Incidents increased 8% from 2024 to 25, with bin fires accounting for 56% of all arson reports. Despite the overall increase, arson to structures decreased significantly by about 42%.
Certainly it's something that is concerning for us, and we are working with the city and fire to determine if there are things that we can do to sort of take away that opportunity for those fires to start as well.
CTV News reached out to Regina Fire and Protective Services for comment, but did not receive a reply by deadline. Jacob Carr, CTV News, Regina.
A doctor with ties to Saskatchewan and Ontario is no longer able to practice medicine in either province after being charged with dozens of offenses related to sexual assault and child exploitation. David Edward Uipun, seen here, was interviewed by CTV News during the pandemic, trying to help reunite families. He worked as a public health officer in northern Saskatchewan. In November and December of last year, he was arrested in Toronto and charged with more than 40 offenses, which included sexual assault, overcoming resistance by administering a drug, voyeurism for sexual purpose, as well as making child sexual abuse and exploitation material. As a result, his license to practice medicine has been suspended in both Saskatchewan and Ontario. He's expected to appear in court tomorrow in Ontario. Late last night, Regina City Council passed its amended community growth plan. According to the city, it needs to build more than 52,000 additional housing units over the next 25 years. This plan outlines how Regina will decide where, how, and when to greenlight new neighborhoods, ensuring the city's infrastructure can handle the growth. Mayor Chad Baczynski says this takes politics out of development.
The way it was before was very politically driven. Even when you look at it, you could see how sporadic the sequence of development was. This new growth plan is a financially responsible way to grow our city. It's a way that we leverage as much of the dollars that we put into the infrastructure we get back. And so and not only that, but it actually addresses a number of different things for our city.
Administration formulated more than 20 amendments through working with industry stakeholders. Developers who spoke at council were in favor of the changes. Sierra D'Souza Butts joins us for our first look at weather conditions around southern Saskatchewan. Sierra, I hear things are about to cool off just a little bit.
Just a little bit in terms of that wind. We are expected to get a bit windy here in Regina and much of the southern part of the province, as well as a bit of the Maple Creek and Swift Current area. If we take a look at that radar and satellite, you can see that those wind speeds are expected to increase tonight, continuing over night today. If we look at the grid right there, that yellow grid right there in that Regina, again, southern part of the province, does mean a blowing snow advisory, as well as that little corner right in that Maple Creek Swift Current area is expected to go tonight. That's what we're seeing right now. But for the current temperatures, still a bit warmer than we have seen compared to the last few days. Moose Jaw at that +5 right now. Swift Current +7, Regina +2, Weyburn +5. But I'll have more for you in our main weather.
All right, thanks, Sierra. Well, the Saskatchewan Health Authority is taking over the operations of a long-term care home in North Regina. Brightwater Senior Living at Capitol Crossing in the city's north end will become an SHA-run facility later this year, thanks to a lease agreement for the facility's 139 long-term care spaces. The SHA said a staffing transition plan is being worked on, but no immediate changes are taking place as they work to keep continuity of care and stability in place for residents and families. CUPE, the union representing workers at the home, say this is a win for public long-term care in the province.
This is a good news for the people of Saskatchewan. This move of a public model shows that the SHA know that the public system is the best way forward.
The union is meeting with the province Friday to find out more about the change at Brightwater. Jallo added CUPE is cautioning the SHA against pursuing a similar private care model for new care homes in Watson and Estevan. Meanwhile, the committee behind the new regional nursing home in Estevan is clarifying its facility will be run under Saskatchewan's public long-term care system and is not a private pay nursing home. The government is currently accepting proposals from qualified organizations to build and operate the new 135-bed facility, with that process closing next month. Committee organizers added discussions are in the works to support a transition for current nursing home staff to the new facility once it's complete. More than $9 million raised by the committee will be used for the project, but exact uses will be determined once more details on the new home are finalized. The Saskatchewan NDP have appointed a longtime health policy expert to help guide its online healthcare consultation project. Cheryl Camillo has been named lead researcher for the NDP's initiative, which will gather healthcare-related input from Saskatchewan residents through online surveys and in-person consultations.
We've led the way in Saskatchewan in the past. In fact, I am here in Saskatchewan because this province for the longest time was the leader in North American health system design and operation. And we can do it again. We will deliver public health care for every person that calls this province home.
Camilla will work with leader Carla Beck and other NDP MLAs to turn feedback from Your Care, Your Say into recommendations for improving the province's healthcare system. The topic of addictions was front and center at a Regina conference today with a focus on recovery. Damian Smith reports.
And we're just carrying on my mom's legacy.
For the past 11 years, Melanie Brown has been in stable recovery from an eating disorder with drug and alcohol challenges. As the Chief Administrative Officer of Prairie Sky Recovery Center, she's continuing the work her mother started at the facility in 2008. She's seen an increase in treatment for customers with alcohol and substance use.
The trades, the farming community, oil and gas, they have huge pressures in their workplaces. And I think that's become apparent that that's a cause for addiction. Brown is one of many social workers at the Saskatchewan Recovery Summit, looking to improve treatment for addiction and recovery in alcohol, methamphetamine, and opioids.
Even though it's not rising, alcohol is, and the consequence of alcohol use, still kill more people today than opioids do.
On February 10th, the government of Saskatchewan pledged to use $863,000 to support sober living. It's part of their mental health and addictions commitment to provide 500 treatment spaces by 2028.
The substances are so much more harmful to these individuals. The average 28-day program isn't going to work any longer. So the treatment spaces that we have available are really tailored to the individual.
Online gambling continues to be an issue in Canada, especially with young adults. According to the Canadian Centre on Substance Use and Addiction, just under 1 in 4 young adults experience harm with online gambling.
There's a threshold where if you gamble over a certain percentage of your income, that you're likely to have social harms.
We're seeing a lot of gambling clients. Pornography is very accessible. All of these things now that they can come right to your phone.
For recovery, Brown recommends prioritizing community and staying as far away as possible from self-isolation.
The cure to addiction is connection. So if people are isolated and they're feeling alone, they're going to be struggling with addiction a lot more.
Damian Smith, CTV News, Regina.
The University of Saskatchewan Agriculture Students Association is off and running with their traditional fundraiser for TeleMiracle. The group is pushing a hospital bed all the way from Regina to Saskatoon, where a TeleMiracle 50 is being held this weekend, leaving bright and early this morning. This is the 42nd bed push fundraiser, which the college started back in 1982. Between the students, alumni, and sponsors, there are about 300 people participating this year.
So we start pushing the bed, and people can push. Once they're done, they put their hand up, and we have runners who come out, take their spot, and they start pushing. It's really awkward, really heavy, but we get it done, and the bed never stops moving. We stop for lunch in between to see our sponsors, and then we end somewhere for the evening, and then we start in the same place the next day.
The group is hoping to raise $100,000 for TeleMiracle, which you can watch this weekend right here on CTV. Still ahead, the federal opposition leader outlines his U.S. trade priorities as the Prime Minister travels to India. And hearing firsthand from a low-level member of the Jalisco cartel after this weekend's unrest in Mexico. Speeches on trade today from two of Canada's political figures. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre speaking about his vision for Canada-U.S. relations, taking aim at U.S. President Donald Trump, while Dominic LeBlanc, who is leading trade talks, gave a rare negotiation update. CTV's Mike Couture reports.
What President Trump says about Canada is wrong.
It's the strongest language Pierre Poilievre has used against the U.S. president to date. In a speech to the Economic Club of Canada, the Conservative leader laid out how he would deal with the American administration if he was leading Canada. He also took a shot at Prime Minister Carney's assessment of the global trading system.
We should not declare a permanent rupture with our biggest customer and closest neighbor in favor of a strategic partnership for a new world order with Beijing.
Poilievre told the Bay Street crowd he wants to negotiate a new tariff-free auto pact with the U.S. and end to sectoral tariffs, the revival of the Keystone XL pipeline, and a full exemption from Buy American provisions. He also proposed an all-party CUSMA working group of parliamentarians to help the government in the review of the trilateral trade agreement.
I think that Canadians are expecting on this an existential issue for many Canadians, a signal from the opposition leader that he has some solutions.
While Poilievre was offering his remedies for the issues with our ally, the minister responsible for trade with the U.S. was giving his own update on negotiations and setting expectations for hard-hit industries like steel, aluminum, lumber, and autos.
But those will be bilateral arrangements. Sort of adjacent to would be the bureaucratic phrase, the trilateral trade agreement.
Now, President Trump has openly spoken about walking away from CUSMA completely. However, some trade experts warn replacing it with bilateral agreements could be difficult.
Particularly given the ways in which some of the key sectors in question in the agreement are so integrated between the three that it would be very challenging to divvy up into separate understandings.
While Poilievre has proposed a cross-partisan team to help renegotiate CUSMA, it's unclear if the government will accept that help. Meantime, Minister LeBlanc confirms he will be meeting with U.S. Trade Representative Jamieson Greer in D.C. next week. Mike Couture, CTV News, Ottawa.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister Mark Carney is flying to India today, as is Premier Scott Moe, kicking off a trade mission that will also make stops in Australia and Japan. Ahead of the Prime Minister's visit to India, federal officials appeared to downplay the ongoing threat of foreign interference and transnational repression from India. In June 2025, the Canadian Security Intelligence Service accused India of being one of the main perpetrators of foreign interference and espionage within Canada. One government official said Prime Minister Carney would not be making this trip if the government thought those kinds of activities were continuing. Questions remain tonight over violence and unrest in Mexico earlier this week. Avery Haynes is in Puerto Vallarta, where she spoke to a drug cartel member about what happened.
I'm driving through a neighborhood on the outskirts of Puerto Vallarta. This area is controlled by the cartel, and a member of the Jalisco New Generation cartel has agreed to meet with me, but he doesn't want to do it in public. We're doing the interview in our vehicle. Our security is in the back seat and will translate. Pedro's what they call a small fish, a low-level drug runner who must constantly stay in contact with his bosses. He repeatedly gets messages about the movement of police and the military in the area. He's having to check in every 5 minutes?
Yes, and they're informing him that there's government vehicles moving.
The one day of violence seen here in Puerto Vallarta and across Mexico was carried out by low-level guys like Pedro. He says it was an orchestrated attack against the government with strict orders not to target tourists. On Sunday, there was the retribution for the killing of El Mencho. What happens now? Will there be more violence?
No, there will not be more violence. The storm has calmed. It already passed. This violence it was just against the government. It's nothing against civilians, nothing against tourism, nothing against citizens. Everything's calmed and it's safe now.
He can't make it out because of the walkie-talkie, but he says everything is calm. It's safe now. Who is the new leader of the Jalisco New Generation cartel?
The new boss is the son-in-law of El Mencho.
El Mencho's son-in-law is the new leader of the Jalisco New Generation cartel.
Yes, that is correct. He was the second one in command, so as soon as this happened, it was chosen that he was going to be upright.
What do they call him?
I wouldn't be able to give you that information. We're here for the people. We don't go against tourism. We don't go against people that are innocent.
Pedro insists that there are no directives for more violence and that tourists are safe here. And while he claims to know who the new boss is, we have no way of verifying that. Organized crime experts say there was no clear line of succession. Avery Haynes, CTV News, Puerto Vallarta.
A third round of indirect talks aimed at easing tensions between Iran and the United States has wrapped in Switzerland. The talks between American and Iranian delegations lasted for hours, but the two sides walked away without a deal. Oman's foreign minister, who mediated the discussion, says there was significant progress but did not elaborate. He says technical level talks will take place next week in Vienna. Instagram will start alerting parents if their children are repeatedly searching for terms clearly associated with suicide or self-harm. The social media giant is already dealing with 2 trials over the issue. Meta, which owns Facebook and Instagram, says the alerts will only go to parents enrolled in Instagram's parental supervision program. The company says its policy already blocks harmful content from showing up in search results for teen accounts and directs people to support resources instead. Alerts will begin next week for parents in Canada, the U.S., Britain, and Australia. Netflix has declined to raise its offer to buy Warner Brothers, clearing the way for Paramount's latest takeover offer to go through. Warner Brothers board announced that Skydance-owned Paramount's offer was superior to the previous Netflix agreement today. Netflix said the new price made a deal that is no longer financially attractive. Unlike the Netflix bid, Paramount wants all of Warner's operations, including CNN and Discovery. It's a deal that would vastly reshape Hollywood and the media landscape, pending regulatory approval. Still ahead, your full forecast, plus a long-running historical project in Yorkton gets a critical boost.
Snoworama is back. Friday on Your Morning, the organizers of the Yorkton-based Snowmobile Rally tell us what's in store for this year and where all that money goes.
Welcome back to the show. Let's take a look at the Skycam in Regina right now. As we can see, it's a nice +2 sitting at that with the wind speeds being 17 kilometers. Sun is slowly starting to set. In terms of the radar and satellite, we can see right now that blowing snow advisory is still intact right there in Regina. You can see that grid for much of the southern part of the province as well. If you take a look at that corner right there, that Swift Current and Maple Creek still has that blowing snow advisory for tonight to come. If we take a look at that weather tracker, Saskatoon showing that green. There is a risk of freezing freezing rain near the area as well, Highway 16 this evening, which will carry over tonight around Regina. That purple clouds is showing light snow is expected to come overnight as well as swift current. By tomorrow, we will see those wind speeds increasing, so the blowing snow advisory is still there. As for Maple Creek as well, we can expect that 1 to 3 centimeters of snow happening. If we take a look at that snowfall board right now, we can see Maple Creek and Swift Current again. That 3 to 5 centimeters of snow is expected by Friday evening. If we take a look at La Ronge, a bit more snow with 6 centimeters. By the time Saturday morning, that snow centimeters can expect to just be a bit more. Maple Creek seeing about 8 centimeters, Swift Current seeing about 3 centimeters of snow to come. If we take a look at your forecast for tonight, La Loche can see a low of -26 and tomorrow a high of -23. La Ronge can see a low of -22 and a high of -19. Lloydminster -20 and tomorrow a high of -18. Prince Albert a low of -16 and a high of -14. North Battleford we can expect a low of -18 tonight and a high of -16. Saskatoon a low of -12 tonight and tomorrow a high of -15. Yorkton a low of -12 and a high of -8. Maple Creek low -6 and a high of -4 for tomorrow. Swift Current low of -7 and a high of -5 for tomorrow. Moose Jaw low of -7 and a high of -4 tomorrow. Weyburn can expect a low of -5 tonight and a high of -2. As for Estevan, -3 tonight and a high of -1 for tomorrow. Regina tonight can expect a low of -5 and -8 as a high for tomorrow. Heading into the weekend on Saturday, there is the Regina Pats game against the Saskatoon Blades with a high of -12 expected. As for Sunday, it will become warmer than we've been seeing, so we can expect a high of -4 and a low of -10. And Monday, those temperatures are starting to be a bit warmer. Monday seeing that 0 and then a low of -11. As for Tuesday, we can see a +3 and a low of -6. Heading into Wednesday, we can see a +2 and a low of -6. And for Thursday, we can expect to see dropping a bit cooler to a -3 and a low of -8, and that's for Thursday. So something to look forward to as we head into early next week. Those conditions will be a bit warmer, so we do have something to look forward to.
Well, Sierra, we can ride out this little dip over the weekend in terms of temperatures as we continue on this roller coaster ride that's been this winter.
And it's winter, so it's normal.
That's right. It's going to do what it's going to do. Thanks so much, Sierra. Well, it's a big day for the Yorkton Brick Mill Heritage Society. The new vision of an interpretive center for what was once a flour mill that brought industry to the city is now in sight thanks to a financial boost. Regina DeClute has the details.
The long journey of reconstructing the Yorkton flour mill is nearing its end, as the government of Saskatchewan pledged its support for the last leg of the restoration project.
This is part of our history, our culture, and our economy. It is part of our heritage and who we are. And that is why supporting this project matters so much to all of us.
The brick mill was built in 1891 to support Yorkton's new agricultural base. Over the last 134 years, the building has changed hands several times, until the Yorkton Brick Mill Heritage Society took ownership in 2021.
And the city had control of the building. We ended up buying it for $1, so we could apply for grants that the city couldn't get, such as federal government grants, heritage grants, 125th anniversary grants and things.
Restoring the last remaining brick-constructed flour mill in Western Canada was no small feat.
When we started in that building, there was 3 feet of pigeon droppings because there was no windows left. Birds were flying in and out, and that's where we started.
The committee received funding from the Canadian government, the city, and the Yorkton Tribal Council, along with local businesses and residents pitching in through various fundraisers over the years.
With COVID and everything else, the cost of construction has gone up, and now it's $3 million. At the time, we'd raised $2.4, so we thought we were there.
To help complete the project, the government of Saskatchewan will put $600,000 towards the remaining cost. Everyone involved hopes it can draw more people to visit Yorkton.
so many opportunities for education, great opportunity for tourism, community space. It's all around just a great opportunity for Yorkton.
The committee hopes to cut the ribbon in June, officially opening a new chapter for this historic building. Regina de Kloot, CTV News, Yorkton.
After the break, we'll hear from the team representing Saskatchewan at this year's Brier, set to begin tomorrow in St. John's, Newfoundland. 3 years ago, Kelly Knapp won his first provincial curling championship as a skip. At that year's Brier, he just missed the playoffs. Now his team is hoping to reach new heights as they return to the men's national championships in St. John's, Newfoundland. Donovan Mace has more.
Kelly Knapp won't have to wait any longer to slide across the rings at another Brier.
This was a long wait compared to the last time that we went, so yeah, it's pretty exciting.
Knapp returns to the men's national championship for the first time since 2023.
He'll drive it through the hole in the forefoot. Kelly Knapp is going to steal, and he is your 2026 provincial champion.
After defeating the defending provincial champion Rylan Kleider in last month's SaskTel Tankard.
The game is feeling great, so there's going to be a lot of good teams there, and you can't control the outcome when you're there, but you can control what you do and how well you're throwing and communicating and managing rocks.
3 years ago, Team Knapp finished 4th in their pool, just missing the playoffs. Third Brennan Jones is making his third Brier appearance.
We're a little bit more experienced, maybe not as experienced as a few other players and teams, but we kind of have a good idea of what to expect.
Rookie lead Matt Ring says he will be reliant on his teammates to get him through the wave of a national championship.
They said take in the moment, but don't let it take over you. But having the guys out there just cool, calm, collected helps too.
But the team feels they have just enough experience to make some noise and climb into that playoff picture.
There's going to be some losses along the way, but as long as you can do well against the teams that you know you should beat.
We all just have a lot of confidence in our game, and I think we're going to be playing really well under pressure.
The Brier begins Friday night in St. John's, with Team Knapp opening their tournament Saturday against the now Olympic champion Brad Jacobs and Team Canada. Donovan May, CTV News, Regina.
Canada's Paralympic team is heading to Italy today. Canada is sending 50 athletes, including 2 from Saskatchewan, Regina's Gil Dash in wheelchair curling, and Prince Albert's Brittany Hudak in paranordic skiing. Canada will compete in each sport at the Paralympics, including alpine skiing, sledge hockey, snowboarding, and wheelchair curling. The 2026 Paralympic Winter Games run from March 6th to the 15th. A professional wrestler with ties to the legendary Hart Foundation is hoping sentimental items, including his dad's WWE Hall of Fame ring, will be recovered after an early morning break-in during a tour stop in Lloydminster this week. CTV's Stacey Hine has the details.
He can handle a hit in the ring, but this blow came outside the ropes. Harry Smith, known professionally as Davey Boy Smith Jr., has been touring across the prairies with Canadian wrestling's elite. But while staying at a hotel in Lloydminster, someone broke into the team's trailer parked outside.
They busted open the bolts and used some sort of a crowbar to peel open the door and slither their way in.
Stolen items include Smith's jewelry and pendants he's collected over the years, along with pieces tied to his father.
And what is the British Bulldog?
Wrestling legend, the British Bulldog, including a Hart Foundation leather vest and a WWE Hall of Fame ring.
The Hall of Fame ring is, it's appraised at, tens of thousands of dollars, depending on who you ask, but it's the sentimental value.
Smith says he wears the ring to honor his father's legacy.
I usually wear this ring for wrestling events like the CWE Tour, appearances in Japan and all over to share this great and cool piece of history from my father's legacy.
The loss is also felt by the rest of the team.
Disappointment, stress. I think there's a little bit of anger, on behalf of some, especially when running a small business could take a drastic hit with the damage done and the materials that are stolen.
Police have since recovered Smith's bag, his leather vest, and the CWE Tag Team title belt. Smith says he's hopeful the remaining items will be recovered and those responsible brought to justice.
They're going to rat themselves out and hopefully try and sell it, and they're going to get caught.
For now, he says the fight to get those items back is far from over. Stacey Hine, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Still to come, backlash over a decision to shutter one of Canada's weather radio networks.
Let's take a look at your rural forecast for tomorrow. We are seeing those, again, increased wind speeds coming up, so it's going to feel cooler than the temperatures are showing. If we take a look at Spiritwood, we'll see a low of -17. As for Meadow Lake, a bit cooler with the -18. Lloydminster, -17. Kindersley, -11, as well as Outlook. Watrous and Melfort can see a high of -15. Hudson Bay, -14. And Wynyard, a -12. As for Rosetown, -12. Maple Creek and East End Cypress can see, again, those light snow coming through with the -4 for the high. As for Assiniboia and Rockland, a -3. Pilot Butte, -8, as well as Lumsden and Broadview and Carlisle can see -6 and a -3. As for Cudworth, people can get their internet plans through SaskTel up to 1 gig in Cudworth as well. As for what the high is going to be, we can expect a -15 with those wind speeds, a high with 40 to 55 kilometers.
A decision to shut down one of Canada's weather alert systems is facing backlash. After 5 decades, Environment Canada's weather radio is going off the air. As CTV's Danton Unger reports, the move is raising concerns Canadians will be at risk in the face of threatening storms.
Forecast for City of Winnipeg issued by Environment Canada.
For nearly a decade, Brennan Harrison has been tuning in to Environment Canada's weather radio service.
Wind up to 15 kilometers per hour.
From coast to coast, the weather radio broadcasts hourly forecasts and severe weather alerts directly to receivers like this. Radios that Harrison says are far more reliable than your cell phone when the power goes out.
A cell phone uses multiple cell towers, and if those towers go down, your cell phone is basically useless.
But a new message over the airwaves is causing concern.
Please note that the weather radio and Hello Weather services will be permanently disconnected.
After 50 years on the air, Environment Canada is shutting down its weather radio service across the country as of March 16th.
With all due respect to Environment Canada, I thought it was extremely short-sighted.
It's an about-face for Environment Canada, which back in 2010 said owning a weather radio is just as important as having a smoke detector in your home.
Bottom line is that it saves lives.
U of M professor John Hanasek teaches storm chasing courses and relies on weather radio when facing extreme weather. He says when dangerous storms are approaching, the weather radio can give vital warnings and information to the public, even when cell towers and internet fail.
We can have lots of bad weather, so it's important to have that resource, available to everybody in all locations, really.
Environment and Climate Change Canada tells CTV News, due to increasing costs, maintaining the technology and services used to operate weather radio is becoming increasingly challenging. It says emergency weather alerts will continue through other channels like Alert Ready, but Harrison believes the weather radio service is still essential.
It's another avenue to keep Canadians safe and save lives. Even if you only save one life, that's worth all the transmitters combined in their price.
Danton Unger, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Saskatoon will soon become the latest city to lose much of its tree canopy due to Dutch elm disease. City officials say it's not if, but when the city will lose about a quarter of its trees. After 11 cases in 2024, there were 41 last year, and the Parks Department expects that number to grow. To slow the spread, the city is switching to a management approach. City staff are hoping to destroy about 2% or 550 trees a year moving forward, but at about $2,000 per tree, it could be a costly problem for years to come. Taking a look at your farm markets now, the street price of canola was up $6 at close yesterday. It's up another 70 cents currently to $632.23 per ton. Futures price also up to $680.60 per ton. Street prices for amber durum wheat staying steady at $278.59. Red spring wheat up about 40 cents right now to $265.69 per ton. Feed barley is steady around that $232 per ton mark. Same thing goes for flax at the $650 per ton mark. Looking at your money markets now, the TSX up about 375 points to 34,501. The Dow Jones up 17 points to 49,499. The Canadian dollar was down slightly today to 73.09 cents U.S. as we take a look at your commodities. Gold was up about $20 an ounce today to $5,184. West Texas Intermediate crude up a little bit to $65 a barrel. Western Canadian Select crude $51 per barrel. Gas prices most commonly in Regina will be at $127.9. The lowest you'll see in Regina is around $104.9.
Shares of CIBC hit a record high today after first quarter results came in above expectations. Profit topped estimates, and the bank reported better than expected results in its capital market business. This marks the second straight year CIBC has beat expectations, and this report also covers the first quarter with a new CEO in charge. Meanwhile, TD Bank reported a 45% jump in first quarter profit that also topped estimates. TD says it saw record revenue in Canada thanks to a rise in loans and deposits. Shares of TD rose as much as 2% today, bringing that stock to an all-time high as well. And shares of Stellantis got a bump today after the CEO said the company expects returns in North America to improve. In fact, it's expecting profit this year will grow the most in the North American sector. This comes after the company scaled back on its EV strategy after seeing a loss tied to demand. And those are your business headlines. I'm Lindsay Biscaya.
Tonight on CTV, we have an episode of Next Level Chef coming up right after we wrap up here, followed by 911 Nashville, then an episode of Grey's Anatomy, then The Big Bang Theory, and E-Talk, followed by national and local news with Connor Chan at 11:30. Drivers on a Florida highway were treated to a real-life rodeo when a cowboy rode to the rescue to capture a rogue cow.
Police were patrolling the highway when an unexpected bovine bolted by. The animal's owner rode onto the scene on his horse, lassoed the cow, and safely loaded it back onto the trailer.
I remember something like this happening in Saskatoon a couple of years ago. You always got to double check those latches if you're hauling cows. Like you really do.
Just triple check them?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Give it a good tug. Make sure it's, it's staying in there.
Staying in there so it doesn't
open on the highway. Yeah.
That'd be a fun scene to see as you're riding by.
It'd be something.
There's been no shortage of excitement around heated rivalry since the debut of the steamy hockey romance. And now we know when the highly awaited second season is set to debut. Series creator Jacob Tarney told CBS Mornings the wait is thanks in part to the surprise success of the show.
We didn't know we were going to sell this show. We didn't know anybody was going to watch it. I had not written a second season. I did not know I was going to get a second season, but it's all happening. We're writing it now. We're getting ready to start shooting this summer, and there will be more heated rivalry on your TVs truly as soon as humanly possible.
Heated Rivalry is produced by CTV's Bell Media partner Crave, and it's attracted a major fan base across the globe. Season 2 is expected to hit screens in April 2027. Rachel Reed, the author of the original Game Changers book series, has said the next title will be out soon afterwards in June of 2027. Haven't had a chance to see it, Sierra, but I know it starts in Regina, so that's something.
That is good. Well, now I can wait till the second season so I can binge watch it.
There we go.